Okay. Sorry, guys. This is taking a little longer. Just dealing with some stuff before we get there. Yikes, guys. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Yikes. Alright, so yeah. Welcome back to another episode of this unnamed series I do. Previously we went over Abby's role in this game. And if you guys have not listen to it, I would only encourage you, and just ask you to consider listening to it. I talk about some other thing up there that's not related to The Last of Us at all. It's just something I thought I would do, something cool, something that is just very interesting topic that's always piqued my interest over the years as a fan of another on another project, another series, and another character. So if you guys want to go see what that is, go check out my last video, and you guys can catch up on all that. But the majority of the time, we talked about Abby and her role. We talked about her role in the video game The Last of Us Part 2, because this is obviously, if not it is one of Naughty Dog's most controversial games. It is a game that has divided the fan base like a hot knife going through butter. It's completely severed this great division. It severed the fan base in half, and it was just swift and smooth. It wasn't like hard, you know. It was nothing like that. It was just a very smooth slice down the middle, meaning it just did it immediately. It didn't take time. They just did it immediately. It happened right at the beginning of the game. The controversy stirred. There are many other things that people didn't. But yeah, I will get my thoughts on some other things, though I'm pretty sure some of you who have been with me for a while, they'll know what my view on certain things certain views that are in the game. You guys will know me if you guys have been here a long time. You hang around just a couple of minutes or even a couple of videos, you're gonna realize that I'm a Christian. All right, I'm a Christian. I have views that I hold as truth. So that's how I view certain things. Let's give you kind of an idea of how I view certain things in this game. Another thing I would like to say about this is it's only controversial to me. It's only controversial to me because of the game. Only because of that one moment that happens in the game. That's when it becomes so controversial. That's where it gets really heated and kind of messy. It's when you get kind of dirty, and that's why we got to be kind of very careful when we talk about this, because we don't want to do anything to say that we're going to demean the ability and the skill that Naughty Dog has as a creator and director. But we also want to be honest, and we want to share our opinions. So that's what we're going to do with Joel here. This is going to be talking about Joel's role in the game. And I'm going to do my best to give credit to the devs as much as I can. But I'm going to be honest with it, and I'm going to give you guys my opinion on why Joel had to go through what he went through. Well, we had to go through what we went through, and why Ellie had to go through what she went through. So yeah, hang on. Give me one moment, guys. Give me one moment. So yeah, today we're going to be going over Joel's role in The Last of Us Part 2. Now, once again, let's be careful in this. So, you play the game for the first 2 hours, let's say. I think it's about 2 hours. You play the game for the first hour or two, maybe even 3, and you experience one of the most heartbreaking scenes ever in video games. I've played a lot of video games in my time, guys. I've played a lot of games over the course of my life, and not many games can do what this game has done to me. It really broke my heart throughout the entire game. Even now, there are times where I just can't believe what happened in that first couple of hours. There are times where it doesn't even bother me, but there's other times where it doesn't bother me. Sorry, guys, I'm having issues personally, but yeah, it's one of those. I've played many video games over my life, and none of them have hurt me in a certain way. It was very traumatic. It was like I was going through like the 5 stages of grief, you know. It was real, and that's never happened to me before. It's something new. The closest that I've ever got to this was in Red Dead Redemption 2 than what happened at the end of the game. Now, know this, that I believe that the way that game ended was one of the best endings ever. I've ever played a video game that is the best. Okay? That was one of the greatest endings because a certain character dies at the end. Okay? He dies at the end, and it is a beautiful way. Though it's heartbreaking, but it felt like they did justice with this character. It wasn't messy. It wasn't unjust. It was just really good. Very good. It gave him honor as a character. And you really got to decide the person that character was to be at the end. So that also was cool too, you know? So this was part two. Once again, it did something the opposite of that. They didn't really give Joel justice because you're not really seen as a good guy. Joel isn't seen that way, especially in the eyes of Abby and Manny, Mel, Isaac, Owen. So I just once again, guys, I'm sorry if I'm going off track. I'm trying to do two things at once, and I'm terrible at it. So forgive me for that. But this game is very dark, and no one's the hero. No one's a villain. You're just your own person. You know, you believe that you're the good guy, and the person that has done you wrong is the bad guy. It depends on their perspective. And that's why I think they went from Ellie's perspective to Abby's. There's a reason they do that. There's a reason they do that. They give you both perspectives of who they think is the bad guy. You know? In Ellie's perspective, this random woman tracked down her someone she looked at as a father figure, tortured him, and then killed him in front of her. Okay? It's an extremely to her, to Ellie, this woman's a monster. She's the bad guy. She needs to pay. But then you go into Abby's perspective, where she is avenging her father because Joel killed her father while Joel was trying to save Ellie. So what you have is a butterfly effect of a bunch of events that have made up so much things that you really can't be angry at anybody. You can't be angry at any of these people. Okay? They are bringing this idea where, you know, everyone is good in their own eyes. You know, they're the good guy and the person that wronged them is the bad guy. That's exactly what they've been doing with both games. And they make it really, really good in the second game. Okay? So we have to understand that to understand Joel's position and his role in this game. We got to understand that it depends on whose perspective it is. When it comes down to the good guy and bad guy, it depends on the perspective. If it's Ellie, then it's Abby. Abby's the bad guy. She's the good guy. And you know, you know, Ellie is the good guy, Abby's the bad guy. To Ellie, Abby's the bad guy, and all her friends are bad guys. But you know, her friends, Tommy, Jesse, and Dina, they're good guys. But then you go to Abby. She sees Joel as the bad guy. She sees Ellie as the person that killed all her friends, and all of Abby's friends she thinks is good guys too. So it makes people. Now, what is I'm trying to say here? I believe one of Joel's major position and role in this game is to introduce Abby, and in a way where, now once again, there's many other ways. Forgive me for my dog. He keeps coming in and out of my room, and I have to keep him out of my room. But there's obviously more reason why Joel has the role of this and why it's a very significant point in the story, because it happens so early. Okay. Um, there's many reasons, but the main reason I believe is so they can introduce Abby, because I do believe Abby is going to have some type of significance if they come out with a third game. They're gonna have. She's gonna have some. She's probably gonna be the main character of the third game. Maybe, I'm not really sure, but um, but that's one of the reasons. And I'm not gonna say that's the biggest one, but I think that's the most obvious reason to why Joel happened to him the way it happened to him. So. I can obviously go over the other ones. I can go over the other ones because there's a lot more to unpack. I'd have to, obviously, if you guys want a very systematic, smooth way of presenting it, me presenting it, then I would have to. It would take time to, rearrange the notes and everything I have. But the only thing I have written down to be talked about is introducing Abby. Because Joel, once again, Joel did something in the hospital in the end of the first game that was obviously going to have major consequences. I'm pretty sure over the course of 5 years after Joel murdered and massacred practically everyone in the building, I'm pretty sure he knew the day was going to come where he was going to have to pay for it. I'm pretty sure he knew that was going to have to come. I'm pretty sure that day was going to... I'm pretty sure he knew it at the back of his head. The timeline of 5 years after he saved Ellie and lied to her. And to mention, Ellie's been angry at Joel for quite some time. I think for 2 years, I can't remember. Or maybe even 1 year. She's been pretty upset with Joel for quite some time. And throughout the game, second game, the part 2, you're going to realize what happened between those years leading up to him dying in the first 2 hours of the game. You're going to realize the reason Ellie is so angry and wants vengeance is because she finally, you find out in the end of the game, she finally forgave him. And they were going to talk. And then he dies. It's a very traumatic story to where, once again, Ellie is going to be going down this dark path of recovery, really. This dark path of really finding that peace and that rest that Joel had near the end of the game. That's really, I think, the point of Joel's character. Once again, this is probably one of the biggest, I've just said. But I believe that one of them is Abby being introduced. And I just gave you the second reason is so that Ellie may be healed. I know that sounds very messed up to say that Joel had to die in such a brutal, torturous, unjust way. But if you really think about it, Ellie was hurt. She felt like she had no purpose. She felt like her life was just completely lost all meaning when Joel got her out of the Firefly Hospital. She felt purposeless, and she felt that way for 5 years. She felt that way, after that happened, and you can tell in the flashbacks that she has with Joel. Of Joel, so give me 1 second, guys. About that, forgive me about that, guys. That's my dog. I finally let him back in, but hopefully he'll be quiet now. But yeah, that's just one of the things that it's just one of the things that about it is that if if Joel didn't go, if that didn't happen to Joel, it's really, I really doubt there was going to be any healing for her. Though couldn't have Joel, couldn't she be healed after Joel, after she forgave Joel at the end of the game, or started to forgive him? Sure. Sure. But we don't know that for sure. We definitely know that she was more hurt after he died. She became obsessive. Her pain was like gone. She was remorseless. She had no pity for anyone. Maybe that would be the case, but we don't know. Maybe we don't know. And maybe that purposelessness that she had, maybe it got thrown out the door immediately when Joel died. Boy, stop. Stop doing that mess. Stop doing that mess. Go lay down. Bud, go down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go lay down. Lay down. Come here. Come here. No, no. No, sir. Yeah, good boy. Just lay down. Come on, buddy. Go get your toy. Here's a toy. He is so focused on what's going on in my room. Yep, there we go. Go lay down. I'm sorry, guys. He's been getting in a lot of trouble today. But yeah, so that's obviously the first thing I would have to say about Joel and his part in this was, one, to introduce Abby, two, to start the healing process for Ellie. I think that that was kind of the point of Joel, and I think that he's always going to be the reason for that. And I also even believe this, that Joel dying was one of the ways that Abby was going to start healing. That's when she, after she killed him, you can see that she knew that nothing satisfied her. It didn't. That's the reason why she helped Yara and Lev. That's the only reason. And eventually became something much more than just, I'm doing this to get rid of the guilt that is on me because I didn't do anything. Even when Mel told her that if you go with us to what was it? Santa Barbara. If we go there, if you go, I ain't coming. I'm not coming. Because bad things happen around you. You're a messed up human being. And she cried about it because she believed it too. When she confronted Owen, when she found him, you know what happened? He was obviously drinking, He said he was tired of fighting. He wanted to go find the Fireflies that were in Santa Barbara. And you know what happened? She told him that was a lie. It was a myth. It was a rumor. He said something to her that she said once. It's a lead. It's a lead. And then she told him, we can talk when you grow up. And he brought up Herb just killing Joel, torturing him. And you know what happened? She got angry because it didn't satisfy her. She was guilty. Joel has significant reason. He has a significant role in this game that it helps heal both of the characters. Obviously, they hurt each other. But that's where it began. It's just what I think. I think that's one of the reasons he had to die. Now, many people say, well, there's no reason for he had to die. Well, that matters how you look at it. There were certain things that had to happen. Without Joel dying, none of these things would have happened. What would the game be like if he didn't die? What would it be like? That's really the question. What would it be like? What would it be like for, what would the game look like if, you know, Joel didn't die? What would it look like? Would the characters be the same? Now, once again, I don't agree where they took it, but I know where they took it, and this is how the game is. And so I've chosen to accept it as it is. And I'm not going to wish it in any way. Obviously, I don't want it to be this way because I had a lot different vision for this game. You know, I did. And there have been people who have said things that I agree with, that people had their own vision of the game and how they wanted to go, and it didn't go the way they wanted. And some people have come up with some pretty good ideas. The Rad Brad, I mean, I remember listening to him make like a 40-minute video on The Last of Us Part 2. He does not do that for any game. And it's because The Last of Us he really cared about. And he even tells people that I may not play this game again, for a while. And it really messed with him, and it messes with a lot of fans. You know? It does. So that's kind of what I think the reasoning behind Joel dying and his role in this game is to heal the two people that he has hurt. He has hurt two people. He hurt Ellie because he killed everybody, took her purpose away when he took her out of that hospital. And he hurt Abby when he killed her father. And by the way, remember, he killed the only person that can make a vaccine that they knew of. Okay, so Joel did a lot of damage at the end of the game. And so he's kind of, if anyone is the hero in this game, it's him. Okay? If anyone is the hero of this game, it's Joel. It's Joel. And hopefully people can agree with me on that. And that tells you a little bit about Joel's position here in the game. He is the hero of this entire thing. It may not look like that, but to me, he's the hero of this entire thing. He's the hero of the entire thing, and without him in this game, only God knows where this game would have gone. I mean, honestly, we don't know where this game would have gone from there. Neil Druckmann, he has decided this is how the game wants to be, and they're okay with it. They're content with it. Doesn't matter what people think. They are content with this game. And that's one of the biggest problems with like Call of Duty over the past couple of years. Their creative process of games are very swayed by fans. And that's not good when you're being swayed by fans. There are many games that they have made from different devs and developers who didn't even like the game they've made. That's why Naughty Dog did it this way, because they were content with the game. They are not swayed by fans. They care about their fans. You know, they care about them, but they're not going to let fans sway their passion, what they want to do, how they want the game, you know? And we can't go off saying that we love these characters more than they do. No. No one loves these characters more than they do. And it's wrong, and it's kind of untrue to say, well, I love them more than they do, when they themselves are the creators of this entire thing. The creator will always love the creation more than the creature. The creation will love the creator. It's like that, you know? And if it isn't the case, then, you know, there's something messed up. That's kind of wrong. But yeah, I once again, Joel, he is probably one of my favorite characters of all time. And it's really hard for me to talk about him because usually I get all teary-eyed and stuff about that when I start talking to him. It happened to me a couple episodes ago when it happened, so I had to cut it off from there, you know. But it's just, this game really had a big impact on my mind, and I still play this game because I love this game. I love it. I will always love it. So yeah. I mean, there's really nothing much I can still say about it because this is how I see Joel. There's so many ways you can see this. You know, it matters on your perspective. And that's pretty much how you're going to have to interpret this game, is by the different perspectives of people and who've been hurt and what they view who are the good guy and bad guys, and that's kind of what it is like. But yeah, guys, I'm not someone that's just gonna come up here and give you some major revelation about it all, because I don't really think much comes out of me that's big and impactful. Though my birthday is in like 2 days. After the day after tomorrow, I turn 20, which is crazy that I've lived for 2 decades. Just saying that, it's insane. So, but yeah, I'm also I'm getting ready for my GED. Studying pretty hard, so a bunch of stuff. And guys, also I've made a video, my first commentary video on The Last of Us Part 2. I'd tell you guys, go check it out, please. Please go check it out. I worked really hard on it. I tried to make it as comical and entertaining as I can. And if that is something you guys want to see in the future, please let me know. And I'll see what I can do about making more videos like that. And hopefully it'll be a successful series like this one. But once again, guys, just to put the synopsis of this entire video, is that Joel is the hero of this entire thing. Joel's role in this is that he is the hero of this entire thing. Now, once again, it may not look like that at first glance, and you see the damage he's done to these two characters. But if you really look at it, you're going to see that he has done his role in this game impacts them greatly, and it actually helps them in the end. Both Abby and Ellie find this sense of peace and contentment. And how do you think that came to pass? Joel did. It's because what happened in the beginning of the game concerning Joel. That's why it happened. And that's why it needed to happen, in my perspective. Now, you can have a different perspective. You can have a very skeptical, even cynical view of it, or you can have a very optimistic view and look at it in not in such a dark, narrowly bleak way of The Last of Us Part 2. And if you're thinking right now, Brandon, do you love this game? Of course I love this game. It's The Last of Us Part 2. I love this game either way. And if I tell you, I'll be lying to you if I said that I did not fall in love with Abby's character. I have fallen in love with her character, though I have always skipped the Joel scene. I cannot watch it. I can't watch it. So yeah, but guys, I don't know what else to say about Joel and his role in this entire game. I believe that he is the hero of this entire thing, and that his death is beginning of the healing of both of the characters, Ellie and Abby. And I believe that. It's a very optimistic perspective, and hopefully you guys have more optimistic. But if you don't, please feel free to leave down your comments, but just be respectful and honoring to everyone's comment, and their opinion on this game, because once again, it's just a game. It's nothing big. Obviously, we have a special spot of this in our hearts, and it hit us, and it hit us like a train, really hard. And I just so yeah. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really do enjoy it. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys can understand where I'm coming from, and it's a great way to look at it. And who knows? Maybe that's how Ellie sees it, but who knows? But anyways, guys, that's my thoughts on Joel. Next time we'll do Ellie. I don't know if we're gonna do Dina and Jesse, because once again, I haven't really gone deep into those. I've looked at the 3 major characters who where it all circled around, and it was between Ellie, Joel, and Abby. Or sorry, Joel, Ellie, and Abby. It'd be better to put it that way. That's where it circled around. And hopefully, well, hopefully we'll get to Dina and Jesse and Owen and Mel and all those guys. Hopefully we'll get around them. Tommy, maybe we'll go over Tommy. But we're going to have to see. I don't know. I don't think there's really any major reason for them to be in the game. I think if they weren't there, maybe if they weren't there, maybe things would be different, but maybe it would be. Because if it was a Tommy, maybe Ellie would have done something else. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? So anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like. Enjoy the comment. Enjoy the content on this game and on my channel. Please consider subscribing. If you have any thoughts, opinions, go ahead and put them down. Be honorable and respectful of them. And I will see you guys in the next episode, Lord willing. All right. See you guys later.